Cosmic beings, welcome to Being Cosmick. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon. I'm going to give you a collective message today. With that, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not everything's going to fit all the time, and that is okay. So use your wonderful powers of discernment to take what is yours. So we're going to do an energy check-in, basically. We're going to see what energy you are in right now, and then see what else wants to come through for this. And while I'm pulling these cards, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments, subscribes, donations. All of it really, really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. That was, oh, next one. Okay. Spirit. Okay. Oh, Kalidokali. Get into it. So right now you are more in your emotions than anything else. So you're more in your emotional body, basically. Um, but with that, you do have earth energy and fire energy, which is spiritual energy, fire, and then earth energy is the physical world. So the first card that came out is the Stuck card. So this is that energy of feeling like you're stuck when you're not. It's kind of like you're stuck, yes, but it's a choice to be stuck. And oftentimes when we're in this energy, we don't realize that that's what's going on. There's this like picture meme thing that came to mind, and it's it- let's see if I can describe it without botching it. Basically, it's two different pictures side by side, and one is of this person, they're laying on the ground and they have a boot on their face. And then it says like before spiritual awakening, and then after it shows like it's a zoomed out a little bit. And then it's like that person's hand is in the boot on their face. And so it's kind of that energy of realizing that like you're the one holding the boot to your head. It's kind of a funny way to put it, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. Um, in this card, you can see that she's kind of looking off in this direction instead of looking down at her own reflection. And so this can also be a intentional distracting type of energy. So where you're binging on, Netflix or whatever, instead of focusing on some of the inner work, or you're, yeah, it's that just intentional distracting kind of an energy as well. With that, what also is going on though is we've got a reflection energy. And okay. So with this reflection energy, this is a very heart opening energy. This is really looking at the self and truly seeing who you are underneath everything, like who you really are. And with that, what I'm picking up is that this might be so intense that instead of continuing to look at this, you're popping more into this distracted energy. With that, on the flip side, continuing to look at yourself fully and truly and holding space for yourself and honoring who you are, how far you've come, and all of those types of things, it's going to help you shift out of this stuck energy. The other thing that came up is generosity. And so maybe that's part of this as well, is maybe there's an element of generosity that's going to help shift you out of this stuck energy as well. And so with this generosity card, it can be either or. So you could be in a position to where you have the ability to give back, or you could be in a position to where you need help a little bit. And either one, it's a-okay. It's just allowing yourself to receive the help if you're on that end where you could use a little bit of help right now. And then also allowing yourself to give back if you're in this overflow state and have the ability to give back. And I'm picking up multiple different threads of energy. So that's just going to depend on where you're at on your journey right now. And also understand that this cycle of giving is a cycle. And so if you do need a little bit of help right now, that is okay. And it's okay to, kind of check your ego a little bit and ask and allow for help, because then once you do that and you shift into this energy of being in the overflow, then you get to give back to somebody else who's in need in whatever way this is. This can be literal financial help. I just heard a house, something of that nature. But this can also be being generous with your time, your gifts, your abilities, holding space for somebody else, allowing somebody else to hold space for you while you process some things. Again, flip it how it fits. Then we've got the intuition card. And so with this is really tapping into that intuitive body and really listening to your intuition. And so I feel like what's happening right now is you are really going through this heart opening, and it's really illuminating a lot to you, and that can be very intense. It can be very overwhelming. With that, your intuition is coming online. That's just what I heard. So your intuition is coming back online. You are starting to listen to those intuitive nudges again, and trusting those intuitive nudges. And I'm being called to say that the intuition, oftentimes at first, especially if you haven't been listening to it, it's quiet when it first comes back online, because when you quit listening to your intuition, it gets quiet. And then when you start tapping back into it, it's subtle at first, and then it will get a little bit louder, but it's never going to be as loud as those ego limiting beliefs, those fear thoughts and negative thought patterns that come in. Those can be very, very loud, to where your intuition is going to be that soft, subtle initial nudge. And I'm being reminded to of I was in college, university for like 10 years off and on. And something that, we always heard was always listen to that first initial thought, like when you're taking an exam. So if you're reading the question, you're like, "Oh, it's B." And then later you look at it and you're like, "Oh, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually C. Maybe it's actually A." And then you change your answer, and then all of a sudden you get the results back and you're like, "Damn it, I had it right the first time." That's your intuition. Your intuition is that soft, subtle nudge. It's confident and it's like, "Yeah, do this thing." And then it's the ego mind that comes in with these limiting beliefs and these fear-based programs and all of these things, and it talks you out of it. And so really getting used to listening to your intuition again, it's a process, and give yourself some time to really reestablish that connection with your intuition. An easy way to really kind of tap into this is you can do something like, okay, how many green lights am I going to hit on the way to work? Or maybe you're like, okay, I'm gonna hit a green light, a red light, and a green light. And write it down. Just your initial like green, green, red, green. And then as you're driving to work, be like green, green, red, green. And then you're like, oh shit. Okay, cool. But then, it can kind of help you to establish it. And it's nothing life changing. It's, leave an extra couple minutes early if you think you're going to hit all reds, whatever. It's nothing that's like super, super major. But this is a way that you can start rebuilding that intuition relationship again. Because we have our connection to the intuition when we're children. And then oftentimes we will be trained and programmed to stop listening to that intuition and start listening to society and, what we perceive as authority figures, be that a parent, a boss, politician, whatever. It's one of these, we are trained not to listen to it and to kind of ignore it because we need to keep up with the status quo. And rebuilding this relationship, you always have your intuition. And the time when your intuition will get really loud is in like a life-threatening kind of situation. That's when the intuition will kind of scream at you a little bit. You'll get that real intense gut feeling. Something's wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. I need to leave. Um, things like that. That's when it gets really, really loud. But most of the time, it's going to be that soft, subtle, quiet nudge. And so I feel like because I went on this long rant about it, you are really connecting back with that energy. And once you connect back with that intuition, and the more you trust it, the louder your intuition will get as well. Um, to where, you're just like, okay, with life-changing decisions, is it my highest good to go for this job? No. Yes, give it a shot, follow my dream this way, reach out to this person, whatever. It can be life-changing stuff. And the more confidence you have in listening to your intuition, the more it's going to come back online. And so you could be really connecting with that energy again, which is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, with that, that's going to pretty much sum up the whole energy update thing. And then there was also a card that came out of a different deck right before this reading, so I feel like it is relevant for you. And it says, "You are here to create your very own fairy tale." And that is a quote by Abraham Hicks. So if you are familiar with Abraham Hicks, they're awesome. It's a collective that this woman, Esther Hicks, channels, and they're really guiding the human collective on manifestation and the laws of manifestation. So, yeah, so remember, you came here to create your very own fairy tale, and you have the right to live your own fairy tale. And that's awesome. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, let me know in the comments below. If you like this message, hit that like button. I'd be very, very thankful if you do. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit that subscribe button. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.